The mission of this YouTube channel is to find you guys the best motor coaches in the world. It's always an honor to be here at Liberty Coach in Stuart, Florida with Frank Connick. How you doing today, sir?
Excellent. Couldn't be better.
Looks like a new 2026, your latest and greatest. What's the story with this coach?
We are super excited about this one. There is nobody in this industry that has lived in this space as long as my family, without a doubt.
But you guys are obsessing over having a perfect product or as close to perfection as possible.
Absolutely, no question.
When I walk into a Liberty Coach, it's little details like that where I'm like, why is this coach so incredible?
The clients are just over the top. They're amazing. It's great to have new clients. They've had a coach of ours in the past and then they were out and now they're back in again. This is an example of people that want to be around our company because of the events that we do. They're excited about being a part of those, plus what we do as far as obviously the interiors, the finished product, the Liberty Coach name, the brand, the whole package. They're really excited about being a part of that and really getting out and using the coach and being with the people, and we're super excited. There was some really cool stuff we did in this unit for them. We're really happy with this one.
Yes, sir. Liberty Coach commands more of a premium than any other motorhome out there when you look at what these coaches are actually changing hands at. Is there an MSRP of this coach, or what would a price be if someone wanted to custom build a new Liberty with you at this same level?
You know, you're going to be looking right in that $3 million mark. It's going to be, depending on the amount of slide rooms, depending on paint. We have the Dean Laux paint job. This one's got the Artist Series on it, so there's that premium that goes along with it. There's some other things that happen, but you know, again, depending on where you're at average-wise, you'll probably be right in that 3 or just under 3 mark. You know, I know other ones are out there with retails that are over $3 million. To me, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, really, at the end of the day, because any of those you can buy for less.
Yeah, some of them may say it's 3.2, but then they really sell it for 2.4.
Right.
But when you look at the pre-owned market, that really tells a story.
Exactly.
And you know, there's other companies out there converting on the Prevost platform, but what else is it about the Liberty Coach build that commands so much more of a premium than the Class A's and other Prevost product out there?
Well, you know, you have to go into the nuts and bolts of it. You know, the Volta system, for an example, the Volta system's a premium lithium-ion package, so you've got a big expense going in there. You've got our quality, our build, and what we do. When you look at the amount of man hours it takes to build a Liberty Coach, significantly more than what's out there as far as any other manufacturer that there is. The amount of time and effort that we put into making something look like a very high bespoke, I guess is the word that people are using now as far as the unit itself. It's over the top, and it has to do with so many other aspects of service. You know, the fact that we're out there substantiating our resale value, buying the product back or marketing the product all the time to be able to hold that resale value at where the brand should really be at.
And earlier we were doing a little filming with you with your team. Got to hear a little bit about your history and your family and how you were kind of born into this industry. Your family has been really pioneers, you know, not only the luxury motor coach industry, but the first company to convert Prevost. And I'm sure there's a lot of wisdom that you and your family have learned over those years to get to this point. Over 50 years, pushing on 55 years of wisdom on your family. I can imagine there's quite a few little lessons and trade secrets that you guys have.
It's interesting. I watch people that are doing the videos, or now that that's really become popular since you and I started it, right? So now it's become popular. Everybody's wanting to jump on board and do it. And I read the blogs and I read all the stuff that's out there. Everybody talks about, well, you know, I know this space so well, or you know, we got this design team and all this kind of stuff. There is nobody in this industry that has lived in this space as long as my family, without a doubt. I mean, bar none. I was 6 years old, my brother was 4 years old. We were already in the RV recreation industry because of being in a tent and a slide-in truck camper and a motorhome, and then in the bus business. I mean, you know, nobody's lived it like we have after all these years. Nobody's lived it.
Yeah, there was a story about an old scenic cruiser, and you guys learned that when you started cutting into the frame that could affect things. So
no, it majorly affects everything.
Yes,
sir. So yeah, and putting it all back together on a Saturday afternoon or Sunday is quite the challenge.
I appreciate all of that wisdom and all of those lessons that you've learned over the years that some of the new competitors in the marketplace will probably be learning over the next future years that you've already learned. So a lot of value in that wisdom and the product that you build here.
Well, you know, and on top of that, everybody's got a great box to start with. We didn't have great boxes back then. We had to take what we could get and make it into something. You know, now we're provided something that is incredible to build on. You know, the hard part's over. It's our job to do what we do best, instead of having to reinvent a shell, you know, at the same time. It's quite the change from what we had come from, let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I can imagine, and your owners have the highest levels of expectations out there, but a lot of it you mentioned is the lifestyle as well, and you threw that famous Kentucky Derby party that's still probably one of the most legendary RV parties to date, but I mean, you've got a lot of the lifestyle events set up for the owners, different rallies. Is there anything in the future that Liberty Coach owners can look forward to?
Yeah, we're going to be doing a CMA rally. My wife Denise and I, we put together the rally for the 50th anniversary of the CMA in 2016. And so we were just in Nashville for the CMAs and doing planning for next year. So we're already deep into that. So that's going to be pretty exciting. We're really happy with how that's going to come together.
And folks can always check out libertycoach.com for all the upcoming events. They're the cool kids in the industry, always throwing the coolest parties. And when that other video on the Connick Setter family story goes live, we'll make sure to leave that in the description below. But can you show us a little more around this 26?
Yeah, sure.
I believe this is another artist series as well.
I think this is 41.
And I think Dean said it's about 1,500 to 2,000 man hours that goes into the paint job alone.
Probably. I really don't get involved in that part of it. I let Dean work with the client, you know, one-on-one on that part, and you know, how it comes out at the end is always spectacular. So I let them deal with all that. I don't get involved in that.
Well, when you've got the best of the best doing your paint jobs, you can just let back and let him do his magic.
Exactly.
And we found the man himself, Dean Laux, world-renowned artist responsible for all of these paint jobs we've seen. What's the story with this coach, sir?
Oh, isn't it nice?
Yeah.
Really cool. Yeah, we got some great gold colors, some bronze, and the red, all in blending in different areas. This is an artist series. It's really the best of the best right now.
Now, it's been a few years since you've done these color tones. When was the last time you worked with these color palettes?
Well, I don't think like this color tone itself, I don't think has been done yet. And we've up to about 250 coaches with Liberty right now. We always try to twist it around and always give it a new way, even if we're using reds, use them differently than we had before. I think this shows that we're still doing that.
Yeah, this is incredible. And you've also told me that there's some new ones coming through that we can get excited about.
Oh, there's always new stuff. Yes, you're gonna see something in the next 6 months that's gonna rock the world.
You told me a couple clues was blue on one coach and another coach green, and those were the only clues you could leave us?
Well, you know what is it? We got green and red, and it's Christmas time, so I guess we all just be merry at what we got.
Well, we'll have to be patient. I think these coaches will be about 6 months or so till they come through.
Yeah, that starts to be the thing here. By the time they leave the shop, it takes another 6 months for them to be built. So we're always kind of ahead of the game on that.
Absolutely. Dean, great to see you here at Liberty Coach, and we appreciate everything you do for the industry. You're the man responsible for pushing the exterior paint jobs over the last 12 years or so.
Well, thanks, Andrew.
Always an honor to hang out with you.
Yeah, likewise. You're doing a great job and love everybody, so talk to you soon.
Now, I really like another Liberty Coach touch you did to pair with that paint job, the floating center caps like we see in the Rolls Royce.
Those are sweet.
And Liberty Coach is the only one doing that. How long has Liberty Coach been doing the floating center caps?
Since the 9660 came out, the first one. Yep. So that would have been Coach 901.
Yeah, well, an absolutely stunning exterior here with a little different color scheme than a lot of the other coaches we've seen. But
oh, it's great to see this combination, because you know, there's so much that have been going on with the blues and whites and that type of stuff. So to be able to see this combination come out is really, really inspiring.
Yeah, very classy with warmer colors, and the interior is on another level. Really looking forward to showing you guys inside, but can we take a quick look through the bays?
Sure, absolutely. First bay, same as what we've typically been doing, so it's a full pass-through bay. There's a cabinet that was special on this one on the other side. We have the tool drawer here, the blackout material that we started since Coach 908. Second bay here is going to be a little bit different here. We've got a nice pull-out table that sets up here for outside, and then we have the slide-out tray. And once again, we've got the drawers, and then the large 65-inch TV. New handle here. Pretty sweet.
Yeah, really nice little touch. And this is just so smooth when you pull that in and out. Is that built by Liberty Coach?
Yes, we build this whole apparatus.
Extremely smooth. And a lot of the stuff we see through this coach, you build here in-house at Liberty Coach. What's your reasoning for building that rather than just buying a mechanical? I'm sure you could probably buy something like that cheaper and install it. Why would you build that in-house?
Quality. You can't always depend on what you're getting anymore from outside sources. This allows us to be able to make changes on the fly if we need to, instead of having to wait for something to come at us that maybe looks like the drawing that we sent to them or maybe fits, you know. So that's why we try and do as much as we can in-house.
When I know when you're warranting these coaches to have no squeaks and rattles to the original owner, there's no room for any third party to have a component failing that you're going to have to be responsible for.
Exactly. Large beverage cooler was desired here, so that's what we have going on there.
Is that a little newer style refrigerator? Have we seen that in a couple of coaches?
Yeah, we did one of these on 904. There's been a couple of them that we've done.
Yeah, super clean look, and then you've got a touch panel down there.
Yeah, Crestron touch panel here. Sometimes you'll see the iPad minis or the Crestron touch panel. It just depends on what people want. There is a regular hard press button remote control as well to operate the outside entertainment center and like the awnings and stuff like that as well.
Does this have the big batwing awnings up top?
Oh yeah.
Do you mind if we put those out?
Sure, no problem.
As those are coming out, we can see very bright lights on the awning rails. And I know lighting is very important to Liberty Coach, and not only the lights, but you've talked about the warmths of the lights on the interior. Now, as far as exterior lighting goes, what all exterior lighting do you do?
The outside lights that you see here, these we've had a trademark on Liberty Coaches for many, many years. And in fact, this light is specifically made for Liberty Coach. It has the Liberty Coach logo on it. It's a bronze naval casting that's chrome plated. So it's got very long lasting capabilities. The lighting underneath the coach can be done in a multitude of colors. We've seen coaches that have the different colors along the way. Like we've got a Gator fan that has blue and orange and blue and orange and blue and orange down the side. The lighting that's up in here typically is going to be a single color. You can't really get into 2-color or 4-color as far as from Zipty.
For the awning lights?
Yeah, that's a specific size that fits in the track.
Now, are you as critical about the warmth of the lights on the exterior as you are on the interior?
It's not as dependent. You know, you really don't have that flexibility like you do on the inside. So when you go on the inside of the coach and see the ceiling light strips that are there, Kurt spent a huge amount of time making sure that the temperature of the color was correct, so it doesn't mess up the interior color selection. So everything has the correct color to it when the lights are on, being if they're dimmed or at full brightness.
And it's incredible how many details that you and your family think of going into the build. If I was thinking about how to build a motorhome, the warmth and temperatures of the lights is probably one of the last things that would cross my mind, but you guys are obsessing over having a perfect product or as close to perfection as possible.
Absolutely, no question. Fourth bay. This was done special as well. So we've got trash here, outside trash. You're having a big party, where you got where's the trash can, right?
Yes, sir.
So that was a request. Drawer space here, liquor storage here more than likely. Got to have a little of that.
Yes, sir.
So the grill unit comes out double. Plus we have a workspace here as well.
Yeah, this is really set up for tailgating. Being a triple slide without having that front salon slide really frees up your entertaining space out here. And we've got all kinds of under awning patio space here. Do you know how long these awnings are?
I think they're just right around 21 each, if I'm not mistaken.
So almost the entire length of the coach, and then they probably go out like...
They go out 9 feet.
9 feet, wow. So if you want to park some motorcycles or cars underneath here, you've got this huge area, or just if you wanted to set up to have outside dining, just an incredible outdoor space.
Absolutely, for sure. So then on the fifth bay back here is our water bay. Pretty much the same as what we've done in the past. Culligan reverse osmosis system that goes to the ice maker at the refrigerator and the water dispenser. 40-gallon water heater. It's electric. It also is heated from the main engine through a heat exchanger. Again, it's a 40-gallon capacity. So along with approximately 168-ish gallons of fresh water capacity in the fresh water tank, that gives you a good 200 gallons. So you got a lot of water capacity. The holding capacity in here is going to be right around the 160-ish level as well. We have air dump valves to be able to dump the holding tank on this side and the other side. We have an air-operated fresh water tank dump as well, so you can dump the fresh water tank from here. You can supply the coach with fresh water, city water from this side or the other side, so you have both. The other side we'll see has the 100-foot hose reel on it that's electrically driven back. Since Coach 823 we have installed a pump for a return system on the hot water. So anytime you turn on a hot water spigot in the coach, you're going to have hot water immediately. So you're not wasting water waiting for hot water to get to you. So we've had that on every coach we've built since 823. So that means at the shower, you got hot water right away. You're not having to stand there waiting on it. Another feature that's, one of those little things that people don't think about. The Headhunter water pump, water filtration that we have in the coach as well. This bay is completely heated. We have had this discussion before with the 83,000 BTU S-bar diesel-fired furnace that we have on board. This coach can survive and will live well into the 60 below zero range. We've done it. So
yes, sir.
You have tank level monitors both sides of the coach, as well as on all of the Crestron panels, wired or the iPad. So you have tank level monitors throughout the coach as well.
I'm loving the red with the gold pinstripes. Very classy paint job, but with that Liberty Coach classiness. And then the perforated vinyl goes through these rear windows, just gives it a very nice finished out look. Now, is that part of that Artist series?
No, that's a standard deal that we do with Dean on every coach we build on the rear slides. Now, this is not just a vinyl that looks like the paint job. This is painted vinyl, so it's the actual color of the coach that's painted on the vinyl, and then it's perforated or reverse, whatever way it is, but it's going to be the same color as what's there, not something that looks like it.
Well, which is incredible because it has that fully finished out look on the outside, but you can actually see out from the inside. Just a really cool look there.
Yeah, no question. Go back here to the rear here. We've got the pressure washer with a whole lot of hose on it, so you could probably wash 2 buses parked
yes, sir.
front to rear. So pressure washer back here. We have the deionizing system. It's in the first bay on the driver's side, so we have deionizing for this as well for spot free. And then we have drains back here to be able to drain it out so that you don't have a freeze issue. Then we have back here the Volvo D13, 500 horse, 1,850 foot-pounds of torque. We have the stainless steel belt guard that cleans everything up back here. Some people like it, some people don't. It's easily removed if you don't. Everything stays very clean back here, little touches as well. The guard here for the exhaust system, we polish this. We don't just leave it the regular raw stainless, so try and make everything as finished looking as possible throughout. There's 2 10 kW alternators back here. They're 58 volt for the Volta 58 volt lithium ion system that we've installed since 2017 model year. They're both back here, as well as the alternators for the chassis batteries and the air conditioning compressor for the driver's AC system.
Yes, sir. And one little detail that I don't think we really point out very often that we take for granted is the mud flap down here has the Elegant Lady stamped into the mud flap there. Nice little touch. We don't point out too often.
No, so. And that also, these little flaps here, we do that just to be able to cover up the hitch. So you're not looking at driving up to the thing and seeing all this ugliness back there with a raw iron hitch.
I've never even noticed that, but if you look closely here, if we can get the camera closely, we've got these little rigid lights here with a cutout in that stainless guard there, just over the top.
Well, and it's hinged so that you can still plug the vehicle in, your tow vehicle, and if you use the air brake system, you can plug in the air hose, and then it has the trim on here so that the stainless doesn't chafe up the hose or the cord, so there's reasons behind everything we do. The mud flap has a specific dimension to it, so it does not upset the flow of heat coming out from the back of the coach. Otherwise, you get a situation where you overheat.
A lot of thought goes into all of these little details, and when we close this engine hatch here, it's incredible the way that rear end looks with that rear cap for the new 9660 shell. When you pull up behind a Liberty Coach, or you're coming up on the interstate, like from a mile away, I can identify a Liberty Coach with a Dean Laux paint job. There's just nothing like it.
Well, yeah, and then when you pointed that out, as far as on the 9660, this is the new back end shroud, if you want to call it that. The cap that Kurt designed, my brother, to go on the back and the front of the coach had to be done to not upset what their design process is, to be able to keep the coach cleaner in the back, as well as cut the draft down so that we have improved fuel economy, both in the back of the coach and the front. So there was 2 years in design to get this correct. So when it's all finished, it doesn't look like it's just an add-on that sits on top of the coach. You can go to plenty of the other coaches out there and you can see that with silicone or whatever they got around there to seal it. This sits on there and it's a perfect match. And it's all completely secured and glassed in, so it's a perfect match.
So many little details, a lot of stuff we don't see with the naked eye, but you and your family are thinking of all this little stuff.
Blind spot detection system. This is one of the sensors for that. We've got 3 of those, one in the front, one here, and then one in the back. On both sides of the coach, there's little amber lights that come on the windshield post, the center windshield post, and the A-pillar, so that you can see if there's a vehicle or you be alerted of a vehicle or an obstacle next to the coach. And it also gets about 20 feet behind, so you can kind of gauge a tow vehicle that you're pulling as well. So that's been on our coaches since coach number 865, which was a 21 model. Coming in here, the driver's side water bay, stainless steel fresh water tank. We polish that. The holding tank's aluminum, and we do a polished stainless steel cover for that. The copper that's polished and coated as well. You can go into coaches that are 25, 30 plus years old, and it's still going to look that way. You've seen them.
Over and over. It's incredible how well these coaches hold up over time. And not just, the copper, but even like the carpets in your bays. When you compare this to other motorhomes out there, a lot of them will, the carpet will start to fray. And of course, depending on the wear and tear, even a Liberty coach, if someone gouges the carpet, there's going to be wear and tear. But, when I look at all these seams, I like to look closely here. Where does this carpet connect to this wall where you've got that stainless? Even on a 20, 25-year-old, all those seams are still tight in a Liberty coach. How are you building coaches? Why would that hold up tighter on something that small over other motorhomes out there?
The quality of the material that you buy, and it's even like how it's installed. I mean, you could easily just take the carpet and throw it on there and bend it, and then you'd have the grain doing all kinds of weird stuff. But the grain of the carpet is straight horizontal with the part itself. So, all of this stuff builds, and it's just those little things that can continually add and add and add and add, right? We did a hose bib out here to be able to hook the fresh water up if you wanted to, as far as washing off the bugs off the windshield or just having, water on this side of the coach. This is the 100-foot water hose reel, so it's electrically retracting and you manually pull it out. That's for the city water on the driver's side of the coach. Your sewer hoses are stored here. Sewer hose hooks on by coming up through and hooking it on, and then we put this in place to keep anything from wanting to crawl up inside the coach. Locking fuel doors for fuel here and DEF, and there's one on the other side of the coach as well. I know there was some talk as far as differences with the fuel capacity. We do have a 200-gallon tank. Okay, there was some discrepancy on the 9660, but it is 200 gallons. Your DEF is filled right in here as well. Fourth bay on the driver's side, this was opted to do a closet, so you've got a fully enclosed closet back here with rod. And then we've got, the generator is here, that's 12.5 kW Onan unit. We were able to downsize on the generator when we started doing the Volta system. Because we have so much energy on the Volta side, we were able to downsize the generator as far as output. Now we have coaches that are coming in on trade that have very little hours on their generators. In fact, most of the clients out there say that they don't use the generator very often at all. With this system, you're able to run 3 of the 4 roof air conditioning units driving down the road without the generator, because we have enough alternator power to keep the batteries charging, not just minimalized. We have charging going down the road with that. And then we have the ability with the Volta system, and we can piggyback the inverters to run 220 volt equipment as well. So we can run the oven, we can run the washer dryer, that type of stuff going down the road without having to run the generator. People ask how long that lasts as far as the capacity. You can look at running 2 AC units, and depending on the temperature outside and using the normal equipment in the coach, you're probably looking at about 8 hours with 2 air conditioners on before the generator is going to start on auto start. You can double that time if you're only running 1 AC. So,
yeah, and you mentioned auto gen start. It's known as AGS in the industry, and that's actually, you pioneered that technology back in the 80s or
1984.
When? And was that you? Was it your brother? Who was the first?
It was me.
It was you.
Yeah, it was myself and another employee that we have that actually owns the company today that we buy it from.
Wow.
So yes, that many years ago.
So AGS, this is the guy that invented it right here. So
not totally, but I was involved.
Okay.
Okay. So, and again, the lithium-ion systems, all of that had to get thrown away and start over again, because we do everything now on state of charge instead of battery voltage. So all of that technology, all of that algorithms, all that stuff, in the garbage and start over again.
Well, you've also pioneered the lithium technology. I've joked that you and Elon Musk were the only 2 in 2010, and a lot of us thought you were crazy. Now here you are with 15 years of experience in this technology, where the rest of the industry now is just starting to play with it.
Exactly. Second bay here on the driver's side, stainless box here is going to be our automatic transfer switch from generator power, shore power, inverter power. Touch screen up here on top. This is our control for the lithium ion system for the Volta. So it shows you the state of charge plus how the system is working, how many amp hours you have left, lots of information on that panel as well. The only fuses that you see in the coach are going to be right there on the left-hand side. That's essentially only 6 to 8 fuses, depending on the coach. The rest of it is all controlled by the Moritz Octoplex system, which is a flat panel inside the coach where all of the circuit breakers are electronically programmed, and then they're monitored and controlled on that flat panel. So if you do end up with a problem in the coach electrically, instead of having to pull all these wiring sheets out and trying to find out where these panels are, I mean, pulling closets and pulling panels and getting on your hands and knees and all that, it's all done on a flat panel. So you can just simply press the button, reset the breaker, and everything's fine. If there's a problem with the load or with the motor, then the thing's going to trip again, and we know what the problem is right away. We're not having to troubleshoot, you know, hours worth of stuff to try and find out a problem.
Yes,
we've been doing that since 2006. It's probably one of the most bulletproof systems that's in the industry, both marine and RV. RV, we're the only ones that use it. Here, this was requested for special storage, different things that the client's going to be using in and out of the coach. We also have the DI system over here. This is for the pressure washer. This bay then is completely heated, so that we don't have to worry about anything going wrong here, both electrically and from the hot water system, either from the engine or from the S-bar system.
Yeah, and this is really neat. I've never seen this configuration. This is kind of some of that custom stuff you can do if the owners have a specific configuration they want. And that's all done from the factory there.
Right.
So that same Liberty Coach quality, nobody's going to build it as refined as Liberty Coach.
9660 came with a different way to be able to service the electrical system and in the service compartment. So we have a door here now to be able to do that. So we've got this availability here. We have an air chuck here that comes off of the conversion side of the world. So you have the auxiliary system here to be able to pump a tire up on a motorcycle. A bike, you're not going to be pumping a tire up on a coach. There's just too much volume required to do that. Washer fluid tank here, and then the front bumper comes down, and you have then storage behind the front bumper as well. So the front bumper on the 9660 now is 3 pieces, although it comes down as 1. So if you damage something, you're only going to have to take care of the one section instead of the whole bumper cover. Part of what I discussed in the back that had to do with the shroud on the back and the caps front and rear, we've got this detail here that's ours that Kurt designed as well, with the logo that's illuminated, and then we have the front cap. So there's an integral design of how that cap is put together, so it improves the fuel economy as well. The 9660s have the taller windshields. They also have this opening here that's called a frunk to be able to get to the dash air conditioning and heat system so that you can change the filters or clean the filters there, as opposed to how it used to be done in the stairwell. So now we have more design flexibility as far as building an interior around that, as opposed to having to deal with the filter being changed and cleaned in the stairwell. This front then opens up to also expose the windshield wiper motors. There's 2 separate motors now that are synchronous, so that they have the ability to have more positions for intermittent as far as, and a missed position as well. Previously on the Classics, there was 1 motor with a tie bar arrangement there, so this is a lot less future part issue than what we had previously. Something the client requested that we did on the mirrors is we wrapped them. So we now have all black up in here as opposed to having the chrome on the mirrors as well. Every coach that Liberty Coach builds from Prevost does have the e-mirrors. So other than 2, there was only 2 of the 9660s that did not have e-mirrors on it, but every coach we build has e-mirrors. I think if you go out and study the coaches that are out there by the other manufacturers, you're going to find most do not do the e-mirrors.
I'm sure there's a significant cost to that.
Sure. From the shell, you're looking at around $11,000 on the shell to add that. Now have to add in what it takes for us to finish around the monitors. Let's just not slap it on there and say, go. We finish everything around that. When we open up the door here, this is a stair arrangement that was started as an available option on Coach 915. So this looks like the stairs are floating because they're set up and then they're underlighted as well. Some people like to do the storage in the first stair with this arrangement. It's really not feasible because of how the stairs are designed.
Now, is this like a Stingray? It
Yes.
almost has a mineral green shade to it, or
Yeah.
I can imagine that's a pretty expensive material.
I would imagine. I
Sure.
didn't get the bill.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Even in the entryway here, this grab handle, if you look at the stitching and how refined everything is, it's just incredible. Well, this has an incredible feel, totally different than any other Liberty coach we've seen. Do you know what the inspiration was for the design?
No, I really don't, and I was there when it came together. So no, I really don't. I know there was some stuff that went back and forth after the fact as well. You know, we're, again, excited about this build. I mean, when you look at all the different colors, the fabrics, the handles on the doors, you know, everything, it's really something.
And our camera guy, Eli, mentioned it almost has that old Florida, vintage Florida, very cool, neat, modern feel to it. But you've done more of the single recliner up front here with the waterfall. This has
Right.
become pretty popular.
It has, because I think the people are, you know, looking at the fact of why we wanted to go this direction, because most people don't really utilize that forward chair. They end up swapping chairs after a period of time so they look like they're being worn, you know, the same. And then you end up with more as far as workspace area, you know, here. And then we have a printer area down in here that you, in fact, this has got the printer installed in it already. And then you have storage over on this side. So, you know, there's a lot to be said for this. Plus the galley gets extended for those who do cook in the coach. You have an extended galley with more storage. You have the dishwasher in here as well. And then this coach has the option with the soft closed doors and drawers as far as that goes too. So there was a lot of different things that we did in this coach for the client. We saw up here the dividing for the utensils and hardware as far as that goes. Up in the overheads here, the shelves in here are clear so that you can see what's on the shelf if you're down here. Plus there's a mirror that's put on the top of the cabinet so that you can see what's on the top shelf as well. So, you know, lots of little design tricks here.
And I'm sure there's a significant cost. And another design trick that I think you take it for granted because your family's been doing it for like forever, but I love the paper towel roll right here. You can see it's hidden back there. We all need paper towel, and it's usually taking up countertop space, but it's so nice to have that clean out of the way. And then if you need a little paper towel, you just grab right here, easy to access. And I was recently in a conversation with someone about building these Prevos and new companies coming into the market. Now, some of the newer product, when they put the TV up front in the down position, you're not able to walk in and out of the motorhome. Is there a reason that they wouldn't be designing it the same way you do, where it goes back against the windshield? Or?
Depends on, I guess, how they're building it. We look at the fact that on the 9660, the ceiling height is the same front to rear. We don't have the drop down like we used to on the Classic. That then also pushes the TV a little bit further back from where it was previously. So now we have to look at the angle, the full rotation angle of the TV when it deploys. So we do a more rotation angle, that way you can get in and out of the coach.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of cost that goes into all of those little details,
Certainly.
but it all adds up.
Right.
So.
Certainly.
Now, the lighting in this coach is more updated than some of the previous coaches. I believe you mentioned that this was an option.
Coach 915 is what we did it on, which debuted at the Prevo 100th anniversary rally in Quebec City last year. So that was the first one that we had done that. So that's what we get back to earlier when we were talking about lighting, color, temperature. That's what we have here. So that all of the fabrics, all of the colors that are in here come off the way they're supposed to, as opposed to getting washed out or being some completely other color that there is.
Yeah, it's very bright inside of all of these Liberty coaches, and there's so many textures and so much thought that goes into everything. And when I walk into a Liberty coach, it's little details like that where I'm like, why is this coach so incredible? But I think there's a lot of stuff that we don't think about that the temperature of the lighting could throw off a coach. So.
Absolutely, without a doubt. This has the L-shaped booth that has the swivel table. This is manufactured by Liberty Coach. We don't buy this from anybody. Again, we wanted a certain feel and a look to it, and you can't get anybody to do that the way that we want it, so we build it ourselves.
Yes, sir.
So dinette overhead, you have plenty of storage up in here as well. And again, we point out a lot of times how everything is lit. Every cabinet, when you open it up, has got a light. That's a trademark of what we do. Down below here, we had some requests for some additional storage designs here as far as that goes. And then this drawer that gets around the plumbing of the sink as well. And then we've got trash drawer, and then a storage drawer here. We've got a Wolf induction cooktop, and then we have the Mealy microwave oven that is also a convection oven, and then storage down below here as well. One of the things we talk about all the time is the squeaks and rattles lack of, and how we warranty that to the first owner forever. Part of that is how the cabinets are built, how the drawers are built, how the drawers are lined. You know, it's just not a fabric. There's something there for a reason. It's easier to keep clean. It's like when you come into the pantry area here, you know, pull out, nice covering that's in here as well. It's easy to maintain.
And coming back up at the front of the coach, this couch is a very cool, different look than what we've seen in the past.
All fabric, you know, because normally what you've been seeing is all leather. This has got a more comfort feeling, comfort looking design to it. The kidney shape on it is something that we started many years ago, gosh, back in the 80s, on and off when we were building our own furniture. We don't build this couch, we have it built for us, but again, it's designed or built to our design specs. Anything that you see out there that's got a couch similar to this in another manufacturer, it's a copy of a Liberty coach.
Now, can this turn into sleeping at all?
Yeah, it does. So we've got an electric switch here that can bring the couch down, or, interestingly enough, people use this as a large recliner.
Oh,
they
yeah.
have the ottomans and stuff as well, so they'll put this down part way and use it as a recliner. I had to learn that from a customer.
Yeah, you learn. That's the first time I've heard that. What about storage?
Yeah, there's drawers underneath here as well, both sides.
And these are beautiful floors going through this coach. Are these heated floors?
Yes, 100% is heated. The floor that you get from the shell is not going to be perfect in any stretch of the imagination, but it is, you know, it's because it's not supposed to be. So we have to go through and add a subfloor to it, and then we go through and make sure that that is perfect, and then we end up building another floor on top of that where the heating elements are sandwiched into. And then that has to be perfect on top, because this material is so thin that if there's any imperfections in the floor, it'll telegraph through over a period of time. And I mean, we've seen it happen. Sometimes all of a sudden you've got some movement, something will happen, and then you can start to see the head of a screw, you know, and something was wrong in there when it was done, so we have to go back through and repair that. That's on warranty on what we do as our lifetime workmanship warranty, the original owner. Something like that is an installation issue, we would take care of that no matter how old it is. Because of that, that's why we put so much time and effort into making sure that the stuff that we build is as perfect as can be.
Yeah, I can imagine you want to keep those warranty costs down. It's a lot easier to do it right up front than have to fix it later.
Right, yeah. If we don't have the time to do it right the first time, how do we figure out the time to do it the second time?
Yes, sir. Well, your family's had 55 years almost of figuring it out, so.
Right. This was a brain tease, I know, for my brother and how that all came together, but this is a request. It was a drawing. He built a drawing off of what the client had asked, and this is what the end result is.
Yeah, so almost like a vintage, like an antique style mirror, but then I don't know if I've seen mirrors on the faces
doors.
of your bathroom doors.
Exactly.
That's got to get a little tricky there.
Yeah, for sure.
This hardware here is a totally different style of hardware, and I've got to compliment how you finish this out. If I didn't know this was a refrigerator, I might think it was just a wall or a closet, but what type of refrigerator do you use?
This is a Fisher-Paykel unit, so you've got the pantry-style doors, refrigerator doors on top, and then you've got the freezer drawer below, which has two with the ice maker also, so there's a lot of capacity here as well. And then you've got the water dispenser here, and so you've got quite a bit of storage inside the refrigerator also. But yes, it is a completely finished piece of furniture, it looks like, when it's all said and done. In the hallway here after the refrigerator, we've got the washer dryer. These clients have used coaches before. They had requests for hooks on the inside of the closet door also.
So we have the Jack and Jill doors as well, so...
And this was designed a little bit differently. So this, instead of the angle on this door being on an angle, this was bumped out to be able to give a little bit more room in that center ETR. We call it the ETR room, the enclosed toilet room.
Yes, sir.
Here in the bathroom, again, this was extended to be able to give more room in here, so the vanity area is a little bit larger. The rooming feel inside is larger as well. The tile work that's done here, the upholstery that's done on the walls. There's a significant amount of time and effort that goes into all of this. There's some really talented craftsmen that are working, craftsmen, craftspeople, women as well, that work in our shop up north to make this all come together.
Your sister-in-law, the designs that she comes up with is just incredible. That bathroom is unlike anything we've ever seen.
Kim's the best. I mean, she's got 600 plus units underneath her. I mean, she's done a significant amount. It's something like we spoke about earlier. Nobody's been in this space as long as we have. Nobody.
And how many man hours goes into a Liberty coach build, just the house side of the build?
You can look at 10,000.
And then probably another 1,500 to 2,000 just on the paint, plus the man hours into building the shell. There's a lot of hours.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't take very long to add it all up. Anybody that's in business knows what it costs to run a business, how much your hourlies are when you add everything else to it, and start throwing 10,000 man hours in it. Do that math. It doesn't take long. And we do things pretty efficiently. I mean, we have computer-controlled machinery that we've had in place since the 80s. Of course, that's all been upgraded. All the software that we have, all the stuff that we do to make things as easy as it can be to build, even at this level, you still have the time that has to be hands-on.
We've talked about it before. I truly believe you're underpriced at $3 million when there's Bugattis being sold for $7 million with this many man hours. I mean, really, if you look at what people bill per man hour, it's actually at a tremendous value for $3 million bucks.
Question. So we come in here to the super suite. So, you know, as a traditional bed cover that's got all the design and everything else to it, the simplicity of this is sweet. I mean, this looks like something that you would use every day. So the comfort aspect of this is really, really nice.
Well, it almost feels like the design kind of transformed a little bit. It's just a little different feel here than it was out in the salon.
Yeah.
A little different design cues.
Yep, it sure does. Closets here. We've got the Dyson stick vacuum that's installed here. It's part of it's over here and part of it's over here. Drawers down in here as well. Lots of nice deep drawers that are here. Mirrors. You're going to have a mirror on both closet doors, so somebody can see how they look from the back side or the front side.
Looks like the owners were doing a little bit of shopping already, or I don't know. Are you? What is that?
Louis Vuitton, huh?
Yeah. Do you think that's the pillows, or what do you think that's?
I haven't looked in the boxes.
Yeah, we don't know.
I can just tell you that's not any Christmas present on my side.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. I like to point this out. We've talked about this as metal reinforcement, you know, so this will hold up over time. And then a nice laundry hamper down here. And even, you know, the little details that you do to maximize this space here. If you look at the bottom here, there's a slight curve to go over this hump.
This is for the caissons for the slide bearings.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of cost that goes into those little details, but that really separates it.
So this is a picture frame TV, so this will come up with a picture on it, whatever the client would like to have, as opposed to just being a black screen, so this will come up as a picture. Traditionally, you've seen us do this with drawers. There's a reason why that's not done that way, because the client is tall, so we wanted to have a longer mattress. To be able to have a longer mattress, this section had to be less depth. So instead of the drawers, there's the doors here to be able to have storage, and then drawers over in here. So this was actually 7 more inches in length here. So that was able to be accomplished. The other thing that we've got the charge ports here. There's a vertical charge port that was actually added in as well as an option. And then these closets, you've got the Dyson stick vacuum, and then same front and rear, this closet style, and the depth of the drawers.
Yeah, you've got 4 large closets here in your bedroom, so a lot of storage back here.
There's a significant amount. Safe is located underneath the bed. So in the face of the bed base, there's going to be the safe, large safe that's in there as well. And then coming into the bathroom, the wall panels that are done here. Again, we have seen many different styles of how we've built this, with wood panels, with upholstered panels, with mirrored panels, all kinds of different things. This decor back here above the toilet in the enclosed rear aft toilet room is...
Oh, there's the Louis Vuitton stuff.
More Louis Vuitton stuff. So this is pretty cool what was done back in here. Also an option that's been coming up a little bit is to slide this toilet back in, recess it, so that when you're standing at the front of the coach, you're not seeing the toilet. So little things that have come about that people have suggested, so we've gone ahead and made some changes on that as well. That's an option, you know, because there's a little loss when you do this here, but you know, it's got some gain to it as well. Come into the shower area. The shower looks huge, absolutely huge. Shelving that's over on the left-hand side of the tower as well for shampoo and extra stuff, and then a foot rest as well in here too. So instead of having the foot rest that's on the aft wall.
And what a cool style of tile with a flower pattern that kind of ties in with the butterfly Louis Vuitton artwork over here. And the lighting back here, this bathroom, when the gals are doing their makeup, there's no shortage of lighting.
Right, and something we spoke about earlier, the recessed area back in here above the vanity, so we're utilizing all the space that we can back here. Storage for towels and other items as well. Nice storage underneath the vanity sink, drawers on either side as well. And then in here we're going to have our electronics cabinet audio video cabinet here and here as well. So this coach has Starlink as far as internet capability and also cellular, so it has both. They will balance each other. Whichever one's going to be faster, they'll go ahead and take that one over the other. And then we have all the lighting that's back in here, which obviously you mentioned as well. And then we have nice storage here and on either side of the vanity mirror.
And that lighting in the shower is
killer.
incredible as well. Every square inch, you guys do not short on lights. We're gonna do another video test driving this coach. We'll make sure to leave that in the description below. Now this coach is spoken for, so a huge thanks to you and the owners of this coach for the opportunity for us to film it. But if someone's a serious and qualified buyer and they want to custom order a Liberty coach or purchase one of the pre-owned Liberty coaches here, what's the best steps to take?
Well, the website, libertycoach.com. Go on there, you can view all the inventory that we currently have, and then you can pick on something. You can email in coachsales@libertycoach.com or just fill out the form that's on the website. You can also call in 800-554-9877. That's probably the best way to get to it. Once it hits, then I go ahead and divide it up to the salespeople that are here, and then we go from there. So, and then build, as far as a new build right now, we're looking at 10 months, 11 months out on new build. So there's some product that's available yet for next year's production. So, or for the 2026 year, as far as that goes. So we've got some 26s and 27s out there that'll be done. So we have some product that's available on that as well. It's going to be nice. Hopefully we'll have a unit for our own use, a stock unit again. So that's going to be nice too. So, but yeah, that's really the way to do it.
And you've got some really nice pre-owned inventory. Every time we come here, it's all new inventory. They're switching over, it seems like, especially the later model stuff. That 22s, 23s and newer, they don't last, but a couple just came in, some great opportunities. And then the Motorhome Exchange as well is your division outside of the 10-year
mark. Yeah, right. So the Motorhome Exchange is going to have equipment down there that's 10 years and older.
They had a couple 2013s that really caught my eye. That was the first full production year that Dean Laux did all the paint jobs for Liberty Coach. But there's some really nice opportunities. And a rare X-Liberty coach where you've only built a few X3 Liberty coaches. I think there's only 3.
I believe that's correct. Yep, I think that's correct.
Yeah, so some of the folks that really want an X model and want that Liberty coach build, there's only about 3 of them out there.
2 of those were painted by Dean.
Yes, sir. So rare opportunity. And that one's $1.1 million. So if you want to dip your toe in the Liberty Coach family before going all the way in at $3 million, that's a great opportunity.
Sure.
But we'll leave all that in the description below. Frank, thank you very much, sir. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys as well out there.
Yep. Thank you. Hope you're all having a great day.
There is nobody in this industry that has lived in this space as long as my family, without a doubt.
But you guys are obsessing over having a perfect product or as close to perfection as possible.
Absolutely, no question.
When I walk into a Liberty Coach, it's little details like that where I'm like, why is this coach so incredible?